Hello everyone. Today we will look into connective tissue. Can you give me a simple definition for connective tissue? The tissue which connects, right? That's it. Now let's see what really is connective tissue. First point, the cells of the connective tissue are loosely spaced and are embedded in an intercellular matrix. So, what is the definition for connective tissue? A tissue which contains cells which are loosely spaced or packed and are embedded in an intercellular matrix is likely to be called as a connective tissue, right? That's it. Now, what about intercellular matrix? A word on intercellular matrix now. The matrix may be jelly-like, fluid, dense, or rigid. The nature of the matrix differ in concordance with the function of the particular tissue. So, the intercellular matrix may be jelly-like, fluid, dense, or even rigid, which depends upon the function of that particular tissue. Which means there are different connective tissues which perform different functions in our body, right? That's it. Now, let's go for examples. The first example is blood. To know about blood, we will take a blood smear. So here we have the blood spot and this is a smear. So this particular portion is observed under a microscope and it will be looking like this. So what are these? We have neutrophil, erythrocytes, monocytes and platelets. These are known as the components of the blood. What are the other components? Let's see. We have RBC or erythrocytes. Yes. And we have basophil, neutrophil, lymphocyte, eosinophil, monocyte and platelets. So these are the components of the blood, right? That's it. Now, over to statements. The blood has fluid matrix called plasma, in which red blood corpuscles RBCs, white blood corpuscles WBCs and platelets are suspended. Here, we talked about RBC, right? Red blood corpuscles or erythrocytes. We talked about platelets. What about WBCs, white blood corpuscles? The basophil, neutrophil, lymphocytes, eosinophil, monocytes are known as white blood corpuscles, which perform the function of defense, right? That's it. So these are the different components of the blood and which are found in the intercellular matrix called as plasma. And here the property of the intercellular matrix, they are fluid. See here the matrix may be jelly-like, fluid, dense or rigid, right? So fluid matrix is found in case of blood, right? So what are the components? RBC, WBCs and platelets, right? That's it. Second point, the plasma, which contain proteins, salt and hormones. So the plasma also contains proteins, salts and hormones other than the components of the blood, right? That's it. The blood flows and transport gases, digested food, hormones and waste materials to different parts of the body. So tell me the function of the blood, the connective tissue. They transport gases, digested food, hormones and waste materials, which means they connect different parts of the body, right? And that's why they are known as connective tissue, right? And they also have an intercellular space which is a fluid, right? Plasma. That's it. So that was about blood. And moving on with second connective tissue, we have the bone. You're familiar with the bone, right? Let's see what are the peculiarities of the bone connective tissue, right? First point, bones are strong, non-flexible tissue which forms the framework that support the body. So the main function of the bone, it is the framework, right? So it is the framework that support the body. Function number one. Second, they anchors the muscles, support the main organs of the body. So second function, it anchors the muscles. So see, we have muscles here and it's because of the muscles that we move, right? That's it. So they will give a framework plus they anchor the muscles and also they support the main organs of the body by protecting them and supporting them, right? That's it. So that was about bone. Now over to the third point. The bone cells are embedded in a hard matrix that is composed of calcium and phosphorus. So we talked about the bone, the function of the bone, and here we're talking about the bone cells. So the bone cells are embedded in a matrix which is hard enough, which are composed of calcium and phosphorus, right? That's it. Now over to the structure. This is the structure of the matrix, the hard matrix, and it's known as osteoid. So the hard matrix of the bone are known as osteoid, right? Now let's identify the parts. Here, the white portion we have the Haversian canal which contain blood vessels and nerve fibers, right? That's it. What about this portion? This dotted portion is known as osteocytes or our bone cells. So these bone cells are found in the hard matrix, and hard matrix is known as osteoid, right? What about these thin linings? These lines are known as canaliculus, which contain the bone cells. So the function of canaliculi is to contain bone cells, right? That's it. So that was about the bone, the connective tissue, right? Moving on, we have ligament. What are ligaments? Let's see. Here we have the picture, right? We have the bone here. Again, we have the bone here. And what is the ligament? The ligament is here. So ligament is found attached with one bone, and again it is attached with another bone, right? So what do you think is the function? Let's see. The two bones can be connected to each other by another type of connective tissue known as ligaments. So tell me the function of a ligament. They connects two bones, right? That's it. Second point, this tissue is very elastic. It has considerable strength also. So this particular tissue is very elastic, which connects two bones, right? That's it. So they are elastic, along with they have a considerable strength, right? Moving on, the ligaments contain very little matrix and connect bones with the bone, and we know that they connect bones with the bone and they contain very little matrix for attachment, right? So that was about ligament, the connective tissue. Moving on, tendons. Tendon again is a connective tissue, and let's see what tendon is. We have this structure, and let's identify each part. And this particular portion, the muscle, right? So let's say this is a muscle, and we know that this is bone, right? So tendons are those structures which connects muscle with the bone. Let's see. Yes. So tendons are those structures which connects the muscle with the bone, right? Let's see the characters now. Tendons connect the muscle to bones and are another type of connective tissue, and we know that, right? Moving on, they are fibrous tissues with great strength but limited flexibility. So what is the peculiarity of tendon? They are fibrous, right? They are strong enough but with limited flexibility. What about ligaments? They were flexible plus they were strong, right? But in case of tendons, they are strong but limited flexibility is found, right? That's it. Moving on, we have another connective tissue known as cartilage. Now, to know what is cartilage, touch your nose now. Can you move the nose now, the front part? Why? Because they are made up of cartilage. And let's have the image. And this is a picture of the cartilage. What is the cartilage here? Let's see. Here we have the bone. And what is the cartilage now? This particular portion, right? That's it. So this particular portion is known as a cartilage, which is found between two bones. A joint, right? That's it. Here, what was this? The ligament, right? That's it. So the cartilage is found between two bones in a joint. Let's see what are the characters of cartilage. The cartilage has widely spaced cells, the peculiarity of connective tissue. The solid matrix is composed of proteins and sugar, right? Here, the cells, they are widely spaced. It is a character of connective tissue. And what about the matrix? They are solid matrix which are composed of proteins and sugars, right? That's it. Moving on, the cartilage smoothens the bone surface at joints and is also present in the nose, ear, trachea, larynx. We can fold the cartilage of the ears, but we cannot bend the bone in our arms, right? So the cartilage is found between bones, right? At joints. So tell me the purpose. Cartilage smoothens the bone surface. So the movement is smoothened by cartilage, right? Here. That's it. So the locations, the cartilage is found in our nose, ear, trachea and larynx, right? So touch your nose, touch your ears, they are movable, right? They are flexible. So that is the great peculiarity of cartilage, right? That's it. Moving on, here we have the cartilage cells, right? This is a hyaline cartilage and more is the hyaline cells. Let's see. This particular portion is known as chondrocytes or known as cartilage cells. See, the spotted regions are known as chondrocytes and they are spaced cells, right? What about the matrix? The other pink portion is known as the matrix and here it is hyaline matrix, right? So they are composed of proteins and sugars. So that was about cartilage, right? Let's move on. Next connective tissue we have areolar tissue. What are areolar tissue? Let's have the image first and let's identify each part. This particular portion, this is known as collagen fiber and this spotted regions, it's known as fibroblast and here again elastin fiber. So what are the functions of areolar tissue? Let's see. Areolar connective tissue, right? It is found between the skin and muscles, around blood vessels and nerves and in the bone marrow. So these areolar tissues are found between the skin, the outermost layer, right? Skin and muscle. So there is a space between the skin and muscles and it is occupied by areolar tissue. That's it. And it connects the skin and muscles, right? And they're also found around the blood vessels, nerves and in the bone marrow too. So these are the places where areolar tissues are found, right? Moving on, it fills the space inside the organs, support internal organs and help in the repair of tissue. So they fills the space. So while filling, they connects two systems, right? And that's how they are known as connective tissues. And what are the functions? They support internal organs and help in the repair of tissues. So that is the main function of areolar tissue. It's a connective tissue, right? Because why? Because they are spaced cells with matrix, right? And they are found in internal organs and help in repair of tissue, right? Fills the space, right? That's it. That was about areolar tissue. Moving on. Again, we have adipose tissue. Adipose tissue is again a connective tissue. Let's have the image. Now let's identify each part, right? Let's see. This is adipocytes or adipose cells, right? And what about this region? They are stored lipid. So this particular cell contains lipid. So tell me the function of adipose tissue. It stores lipid, right? So easy, right? Now what about the other third one? We have the nucleus and cytoplasm. That's it. So what are adipose tissue? The adipose tissues are connective tissues that stores lipid, right? Let's see. The fat storing adipose tissue is found between the skin and between internal organs. So the location, they are found below the skin and between internal organs, right? The cells of the tissue are filled with fat globules. Storage of the fat also let it act as an insulator, right? So tell me the function of adipose tissue. They are fat storing tissues, right? That's it. Found below the skin and between internal organs. So the cells of these tissues are filled with fat globules which act as an insulators. So how do they connect? They are found below the skin, right? So they connect two systems. That's it. So that was about adipose tissues and other connective tissues. That's it. Thank you.